Good morning. How are we doing? Let's go over the CNBC morning squawk. Yesterday we had a Fed meeting, 2 p.m., and it looks like they are holding steady. No change in interest rates. On Wednesday, the Federal Reserve announced they're holding short-term interest rates steady. They did specify that inflation is getting closer to the central bank's target, meaning rate cuts could be on the horizon. When speaking with reporters following the decision, the Fed chair said that a rate cut could come as early as September if inflation continues to ease. If that test is met, a reduction in our policy rate could be on the table as soon as next meeting in September. Only a month away now. So we could potentially see some rate cuts there. The market kind of already baked in that price. We look at the SPY. There was expectations that rates were either going to get cut or hold. And so that wasn't terrible news based on how the market reacted to it. But traders, this morning, let's dive deep into our morning watch list. If you don't already, grab you a copy of the day trading watch list so you can write it down. I like pen and paper. Write everything down. That helps me to retain all the information as well. Writing it down. Read it, hear it, see it. Our different senses. All right, so yesterday, what did we see? We saw a lot of tickers not really holding gains at all. It was kind of a buy the dip, sell the rip, and if you were buying into the momentum, buying the breakout, you were taking the elevator down on the short side. There were a few low float plays that just did not get the sustained momentum to continue their upward trajectory. NUZE being one of them, the no news stock is what I like to call it. That one kind of flushed and held still. We have some earnings that are doing decent, and this morning there are a few tickers. The leading that I'm seeing in the volume category with 12 million shares traded thus far, which is much higher than its average relative volume. This one actually is looking a little choppy, but it's not terrible. IMRX. Let's find out what's going on here. Why is that one of the leading tickers this morning getting a gap up? It's a penny stock, little penny stock. They have their drugs fast track designation to the FDA. Woohoo. Not the greatest news here, but if we look at the daily, that's what I like. You guys know we do the different types of analysis, fundamental, technical, and trader. And fundamentals I don't like the most. I call them fundamentals, but with that being said, we want to see price action. We got the price action here. What I do like about this is on the daily chart, we're breaking above the 13 and 50-day moving average, which we have not been above since last February. Yeah, it's been a minute. And so this thing could have potentially some room to move up with the 133 being a support level. That's what I watch on IMRX. It's sitting at 149 right now, so I like that the risk isn't too far off. Only about 17 cents. For the reward being, scaling out along the way up into the 160s to 80s. Pre-market high. Mr. Kevin, I'm watching weather this morning. We're watching the tropical wave in the Gulf of Mexico. Interesting. I will take a peek there. Haven't heard, haven't looked. You're in Lakeland, Florida, so not too far off. Another low float play this morning, LSH. This stock yesterday had an elevator down move right at the open of the day. And they had a logistical agreement with an e-commerce platform, LSH, yesterday. It kind of had already made its move in pre-market 250 to 430s. And then we saw profit taking at the start of the day. And throughout the day, the ticker did try to grind up a little bit. It kind of bottomed out, and we saw some buyers coming in to this name. And right now, it's actually sitting fairly close to its pre-market highs yesterday. So slow and steady is winning the race here on LSH. I'd be cautious buying into the momentum here, but it looks like a decent dip buy opportunity. What I do like about LSH is, well, I don't know if I do like this or not. I mean, we just don't have a lot of past chart history to go off of. It's kind of a recent-ish IPO from early in July. I think it opened up July 1st. And so there's not a lot of technical levels to look at. On the daily, we do have 537, which is going to act as a tough area of resistance for LSH. But outside of that, not a lot to look at. I like it as far as we got clear blue skies ahead. If we break over that, there's no real resistance areas. There's no, people probably have, algorithms don't have their levels that they've put their orders at. Neither other traders have put their limit orders out there to take them out at a certain resistance level. So that's what's good. It's a good psychological level for LSH. I do want to keep my eyes on this for a potential dip buy opportunity. I think that's the personality of this ticker, is buy it on the dip, seller on the rip. So we'll be mindful of that. A few tickers have just been making some really nice moves, and ASTS is one of them. I was doing some research here on ASTS. I'm not sure if you guys are aware. I mean, look at the move that this thing has made since May. I'll pull up the news with ASTS. It's real interesting. So ASTS in the last 80 days, and actually in May, when they started making this move, they had an agreement with AT&T to provide direct-to-cell connectivity as an opt-in service. And then they're switching on May 29th, announced that it's teaming up with Verizon. And then July 24th, the company announced that its first 5 commercial satellites had completed assembly and were ready for prime time with a launch in September. And so that's why people have been buying the rumor, selling the news all the way from May up until, coming up now and into September when they launch these satellites. Now, what's interesting about this? Just throwing this in there for free, but you can directly connect your phones to this space-bound cellular satellite. I mean, it almost reminds me of the Starlink for connecting to Wi-Fi, but it's going to be your phones from anywhere. Oh my gosh, guys. It's going to be a game changer. That's why ASTS is making the moves that it is, because if you can connect your phone from anywhere to this ASTS satellite and get your service, that's a game changer, man. I mean, just yesterday, I went and I was playing some pickleball, and I was out, not even really deep out in the woods, but I could not connect to the towers. So the future is changing with these satellites. I'm excited for it. Mr. Kavan Trades in the house. Good to see you in here, man. How have you been? How's your trading going? Been seeing a lot of choppy action and not a lot of sustained momentum, which is what we've been going over this morning on some of these plays yesterday. But ASTS is one that's had some nice momentum despite all the odds. It continues to get its leg higher on up. So I want to keep watching that. You had a decent July, still battling bad habits. Aren't we all? Yeah. Yeah, I hear that, man. If you don't mind sharing, what habits are you battling? For me, it's always been taking profits too soon. Those are the habits that I battle. Take profits way too soon, and then I let my losers just work. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. All right, ISPO. This one was a low float play a few days ago. I'm pretty sure this one jumped up on no news. Yeah, I didn't see any news here. ISPO, this one last Friday. So on Friday of last week, this one was a chat room pump and very low float ticker. I think, yes, 2 million in shares on the float for ISPO. But look at the chart. Look at the pattern that's developing. It's got this trend line that you can play. 720 and this bottom trend right around 7 is going to be a decent area of support to watch for ISPO. This is a low float play. It was the creepy crawler on Tuesday, which I was calling out as it made its move. Because, again, traders like to go to the well in which they drink from. And if ISPO paid the bills on Friday, they're going to want to pay the bills on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Yesterday was just a unique day because of the Fed meeting at 2 p.m. There wasn't a lot of sustained action as people were anticipating, what was going to go on with the rate hikes or cuts. Or nothing, or the hold, which did happen. So ISPO today, it's crawling back up. We could see this get a next leg on up. On Tuesday at around 11 o'clock is when this thing made its move. It was chopping up until then. So ISPO, let's keep our eyes on there. We got about 2 minutes till the market opens on up. So let me fly through a few more of these tickers. Serve is more of a, right now it's more of a mid-cap play. A couple weeks ago, nano-cap. So SERV, kind of like ASTS, this one's has been making some nice moves over the last couple weeks. NVDA has a 10% stake in this company. That's what initiated this move. If you like this play, it's got 1650 support. Got a few levels of support. Again, predefined risk before ever entering the trade. It's what separates amateurs from professional traders. Understanding risk. Not just focusing on the profits, focusing on the risk. So 1650 is an area of support on it. Yeah, it's got a tough road ahead, battling out some recent resistance. 18 resistance going to be. It's kind of channeling right now. So we'll see if it gets the volume. Again, there's a few tickers this morning. IMRX, I do like. It's a lower price play, but I love that this just recently broke the 1350-day moving average, and it's right above that 50-day. So, is it going to give it all back? The 50-day on this is at $1.33. I'll show you guys that. So we're gapping up above the 50-day 13 EMA. 133 is going to be support if we kind of profit take back down to that area, and then we got some room to move ahead. Close to $2. We have a few upper shadows and candlesticks close on there, so $2 will be some resistance, but not terrible if you can scoop this up right around that support 133. It's got a little bit of news to back it up too. Not the best, but they had an FDA fast track designation. There's the bell. Kevon, you too. Good luck, good luck. What are you watching this morning? We're going to flip through a few tickers and be patient. PAY, patience pays. We're going to see what's going to open up, what's going to happen. I am more interested if longing on dip buys, because that's what we were seeing yesterday. IMRX, that one's profit taking a little bit. Everything's sitting kind of stagnant right now. ISPO, that 2 million float, just sitting still. ASTS, a little bit of profit taking. Counter trend, yeah. We've both been like that. The counter trend trading, or mean diversion, what some call it. I'm with you on that. IMRX pulling on back close to that 133 support area. Man, it's just I was gonna have a lot of baggies from after hours and pre-market that are gonna be some resistance. Yeah, I sense a lot of hesitation. A lot of hesitation in this market. All right. Yeah, Kayvon, I got a chart here too. It's oversold, or sorry, I got a scanner. Oversold swings and overbought short sales that essentially are what you're looking for. I know you probably have that on trade ideas, but it's just stocks that are making they're very overbought or oversold and have good volume. You can set the parameters however you want, but I love those, especially when you put the criteria in for a specific amount of volume, so you guarantee or at least getting that. All right. IMRX. Nice on the dip buy. Down in the 140s, up to 160 now. Decent play. EVGO. This one's on earnings. Right now I'm just flipping through a few of the stocks making some moves right now. Nice, starting the day off green. Very good. Meta, what did you do on Meta there? Being a counter trend trader, I know you didn't buy this. EVGO on the earnings. Let's play. I mean, they got kind of a bull flag on their daily EVGO. It's gonna have about 415 support. Nice. A short early on, been more profitable pre-market. Yeah, and you probably focus more like large caps pre-market, don't you? Because the illiquidity would concern me. Like I have been screwed in pre-market more than I've done well. I'm almost certain I have been in because they always do the offerings in pre-market or after hours. I'm pretty sure I've been in an offering or two on the long side. It's terrible. That's one of the worst feelings. So IMRX, decent play here. I mean, holding VWAP now, that pullback, buying the dip like we went over, how we should be buying the dips if longing. I mean, that was nice. Right there in the 140s and risking, 10 cents on the 133. Very, very nice move so far, IMRX. Yeah, we're not missing anything. IMRX is getting the attention because of probably the chart pattern. Looking left of the chart. It's not getting attention based on the news. The fast track designation for their drugs, that doesn't really bring in hype. Their chart pattern's really good. It's a clean pattern. It's got $2 resistance and pre-market at 183. So couple different profit targets. We know with how yesterday was that we likely should be taking profits, guys. Not if scaling out, probably take 60, 70, 80% off and then let a little bit ride, or do single entry, single exits, kind of like you did, Kayvon, this morning. on Meta if you did that. It's like a single entry, single exit kind of market right now. You're either going to get caught up in a ton of chop, or you're going to get stuck with an elevator down. All right. Speaking of elevator downs, we got ISPO pulling back. That's the 2 million in float ticker. Serve is profit taking. IMRX is hitting pre-market resistance. PayPal is still on earnings. That stock is trending up towards yesterday's high. LSH, ooh, she's creeping up. LSH. So the reason ISPO the other day made its low float pump around 11 was a market shift in momentum. That's what happens when nothing's really making the move. If everything dies off, then you have a momentum shift, and that happened with ISPO the other day. And LSH is not profit taking, and this one's kind of creeping around. And traders are starting to, some volume's coming into it right now. This is what happens. Nothing's really moving, and so people will go to the most recent, like lowest float ticker that hasn't died off, and we'll just start pumping it on up. We could see that with LSH. 450s is definitely an area to profit take. Yeah, I'm going to keep my eyes on LSH here. I mean, if it doesn't get... Here comes some more volume. If it doesn't get the volume, it's going to die off. About 100,000 shares of volume on this ticker. Or on this minute. 125. Yeah, I mean, it's getting some good volume right now. But it's still undecided. Yep, that is this market. It just gets so rejected. Such a slam, man. And IMRX hitting pre-market resistance. Serve profit taking ISPO. You're watching WINT. Let's pull that up. Nice. Good move there. Nice move into the close yesterday. What is it? Halted? Or just... Yeah, it looked kind of halted. Is it? It's probably halted here. All right. WINT. Let's look at the chart. All right, so about 5 days ago, it hit the 200-day, 886. Hit the 200-day yesterday as well, couldn't break it. And today, we are seeing the 200-day break. That's what other traders are seeing as well right now. So we got a nice little technical analysis going on right there. Let's see why WINT is moving, if there's any news here. Yeah, the only news I'm seeing is from a couple days ago. The company announced it entered a $1 million private placement of a Series C convertible preferred shares and warrants. And last Thursday is when it made its move. Yeah, this is getting some activity. It's trading on low-ish volume. See how it was do another day. Yeah, this was a buy the dip kind of play last week too. Man, you cannot. I'm telling you guys, like you cannot be buying into the momentum right now. I'd be hesitant buying at any breakout levels because everything is failing. So WINT, I mean, where do you get in at? So if you're interested in buying this ticker outside of the halt, what you really want to see is a pullback back down towards like yesterday's close. Like pull back down towards 950. Like get some profit taken in, dip, 30, 40 cents, and then scoop it up and have a tight risk. I like that play though. Good eye there. ASTS made a little bit of a quick little red to green move. That one's trying to hold VWAP. That's the satellite company for the cellular phones. Hit some resistance at 21, 28 high yesterday. This one may see continued momentum into September when they launch their satellites. Well, we got to keep our eyes on ASTS for that. Getting a little lower shadow there. Signs of a buyer stepping in. Just flip through a few tickers and see what else is moving. IMRX still kind of, that had a nice pullback. Entry under the VWAP and back up towards its highs right now. Again, careful buying anything at highs, anything on momentum. You want to be buying the dip in this market. Wow, ISPO trying to, that little 2 million in float stock trying to turn around. Curious to see where WINT is going to open up at. When did it halt here? It halted 9:37. So is it going to be a 10-minute halt? Volatility trading pause. Probably going to open back up at 9:47. While we wait for that, gonna take a peek at some other tickers. Ah, okay. Mr. Nova. Nova breaking through its highs right now on the day, 873. This one is a technical play as well, getting over the 200-day moving average. That's what's going on with Nova if you're interested there. I'm going to put it on the watch list. VA hitting highs. IMRX still chop fest. That was our leading gapper this morning with the most volume. WINT, we're going to wait and see where this is going to open up at. Should be opening up at 9:47. Got about a minute left on it. I want to see what the float is here. Let's look at Yahoo Finance. Whoa. Oh, ooh, ow. All right, the float is 532,000. Yikes. Short percent of the float's at 8%. Very interesting there. I know ASTS has nearly a 20% short float as well, and that's why that one is partly why it's continuing on higher. Okay, WINT, where are we going to open up at? Should be opening up in less than a minute. Kayvon, I don't know if I can get involved with this 500,000 float ticker. But with high risk comes high reward. So don't tempt me. I might just have to enjoy watching this one. All right, WNT, come on, 947. If it goes past 947, it's going to be, what, a 15-minute halt. Or maybe we go into one of those, what is it, the T1 halt? Or T12? I forget which one it is. It's the one that the SEC has to review them. It could take months. I've seen a few of those over my trading career, and thankfully was not involved in them on the long side. Trap all your money. Maybe that's what we're going to see here with WINT, because we're past the 10. Oh my God. We just opened up at 11:28. Woo. Woo. Okay, hit a high at 12:32. See if we form a big upper shadow or if we're going to see a pullback on WINT. This is a 500,000 in float ticker that is the wild, wild west. I don't even know how you get involved with this. I'm having so many latency issues just trying to watch this thing whip up and down. Getting a ton of volume coming into it. 300 plus thousand shares in this candlestick. Still undecided. Nearly had a doji star in that candlestick. Trying to be the black sheep of the market. WINT. I have been all about buying the dips in this market, but with WINT, this could be the anomaly of the morning. I would not. I don't know about buying the dip on this. This is probably either it's going to pump higher or it's just dumping. There's not really an in between with it. WINT, what are you going to do? Did you get in on that action, Kayvon? Yeah, just watching. Yeah, that's where I'm at too. I enjoy watching these more than I like trading them. If I was trading this, there wouldn't be a stream. I would be just not communicating at all. I'd be so laser focused. Well, while that's trying to figure out what it's doing, I'm going to flip through a few more. Nova hitting that magic 20-cent area. Love that. I have a whole entire... I'm going to screenshot that. I got a whole folder of tickers making fast moves up past the whole dollar, hitting the 20-cent area, because it is such a natural area of resistance that I don't really hear many people talking about. I mean, I've been all about that for so long. Studying these tickers for so long, I've seen them break through whole dollars and hit that 20-cent area so often. It's a magic number. All right. PayPal is testing its highs from yesterday. That's an earnings play. IMRX starting to fade a little bit off of pre-market resistance. SPY's having a little bit of a pullback. And WINT, we're starting to see profit taking on that. Yeah, and it's hard to gauge whether or not this is even a decent long entry at all on WINT, because likely we're just seeing the pump and dump. That's the middle finger of death on this thing up towards the 1230s. Close to that magic 20-cent area there. But I did get that break over the whole dollar up towards 30 cents. Yeah, again, similar to yesterday. If longing anything, I'd want probably slow and steady. Probably like an ASTS, even though this one is kind of high on the RSI. I like the lower shadows here. It is kind of a chop fest right now. ASTS and SERV have very similar charts. Let's see what SERV's doing, the NVDA investment play. Yeah. SERV's getting hit with some... SERV is getting served with some resistance. And ISPO, I mean, I like this trend. It's a 2 million a float ticker. If 11 o'clock rolls around and nothing's moving, look at what ISPO is doing on this chart. Yeah, it had a bad day yesterday, but it did try to hold this bottom trend line on this 5-day chart. Got this bottom trend line, and we see a few lower shadows from the last few days at it. It looks like it's gonna try to hold that pattern for a potential next leg on up. So it's one you gotta keep on watch, and 720 is really good support on it. We have bottom trend support to it. We have past chart history from these days way back here, 720. And we got some good 720 support on ISPO. And that's sitting right near resistance. Again, I mean, we don't have the volume on it, but taking a small stab and just, with a risk at 715, 720, I'm kind of convincing myself it's not bad for the reward here. I don't mind stabbing at these low float plays, with a few hundred shares when, your risk is like 20 cents and the reward is a couple point or two. Not bad. Just not a lot of volume there right now. But it's reminiscent of the other day when everything was dying off, and then traders were like, oh, nothing's moving. Let's go back to the last low float play that made a big move. All right, let's brief the market. WINT. Looks like it halted. Going down. ASTS. Nice. the choppy kind of play, buy the dip, and this one just seems to be working on the long side, buying the dip. Works until it doesn't. PayPal making new highs, breaking the highs from yesterday. The earnings play. Make sure we're not missing anything. God, dude. APTV. What a short here, Kayvon. God bless. Oh, so beautiful, too. Man, I hate when I miss these. Look, I had a gap up, and then look at the daily, Kayvon. Right up to the 200-day moving average. Hard reject. Probably going to bounce off the 50-day at 74, but man, dude, I love pocket pair ace setups when these tickers not only go to the 200-day, they go up to past chart history resistance. They do it on a high RSI. Just many indicators lining up. All right, flipping through a few more. IVP, possible curl. Pull up IVP. All right. I like that it's... So the 13 EMA is right at 857. Is getting above that. It's got the high a day resistance. It's curling up too. It's just lightish on volume. It's the only thing it's missing. But yeah, decent. A very clear 920 support for IVP if you're playing that. 920, very clear support. 30-cent risk there. What in the lumen is going on? All right, LUMN. Stock the last few days has just been straight up. And right now it's straight up as well. All right, let's see why this is going on. Last news I see is July 31st. They're trading higher on Wednesday. Lumen is set to release their 2024 earnings on August 6th. Oh, Lumen and Microsoft announced a new partnership. LUMN and Microsoft. Why is that not like the headline? Okay, well it is the 24th. I'm like, why is that just dusted under the rug in this PR? Okay, the 24th they announced to use Microsoft Cloud. Whoop-de freaking do. Well, it's getting momentum off of it. I'm going to look at the chart now. $5, next area resistance. As far as support goes, 250. I mean, not... I know it's way off of that. So support would have to be like the previous close or today's open. Yeah, it doesn't have a ton. Well, Lumen is certainly one. You're going to have to keep on watch for tomorrow. I'm going to write her down. Yeah, that's where a lot of volume is. I mean, major volume here. It's a higher float play. Why didn't I see that this morning? I guess there was hardly any activity this morning. Right when the market opened, just volume shot off on it. Yeah, that APTV landslide, jeez Louise, that thing. That looks like something you'd be interested in scooping up, Kayvon. APTV, that thing's... The 50-day moving average is right at 74.08. It's probably gonna crack under 74 before the bounce and then pop up. Yeah. Yeah, that's like the theme of the day, dude. We need volume on anything. And not just that, we need. Right, exactly. I agree. I was thinking that as I was saying it. I'm like, yeah, we need some capitulation. Need some volume here. Kind of like we're seeing on WINT. Need some capitulation. ASTS testing its highs right now. That's really like the only long play I'd be interested in. ASTS on like a dip buy. Everything else is just, PayPal's on earnings, but that one, not too exciting. And then SERV is tested its open. It's pulling back right now. I mean, there's good volume on SERV. SERV, ASTS, still good volume, still opportunities on both of those for a trade. Outside of that, man, God, nothing. ASTS also has earnings right there. I'm seeing on August 14th, which is relevant. Write that down. Okay. Yeah, we'll keep that in mind as it's making new highs right now. What else are you watching, Kayvon? Yeah, Went is just a shit in the bed. Yeah. Yeah, what's going on, man? This is awful. AUR, potential decent short. Coming up to its 13 EMA right now. It's already seeing a little reject. Right around that 430s is where that 13 EMA is. BMEA, lower-ish volume, like 20 30,000 shares a minute, is making new highs right now. It got a analyst upgrade to a $15 price target. Well, there comes some volume in right now. It's 50-day moving averages at 654. I got a feeling it's not going to hold this move. I'm thinking we're going to get an upper shadow over this 50-day. My initial hunch on it. Start selling off here soon. Tried a meta put a few minutes ago. Well, a few minutes ago, I hope by a few minutes ago you meant 958, because that would have been pretty good. Oh, sorry, I didn't read the rest of that and watched it keep going. Those are the worst. Didn't we just talk about this? We just had a lesson on this. Battling our trading sins. They're real, man. I don't... but... it's just this market, I think, causing us to just want to take, most all off. And there's a reason for it. So I think there's some validation behind it. But on the short side, most everything's not doing very hot, so. I think I'm done flipping through these right now. Yeah, look at APTV. It's under 74 now, but we still haven't got that fast move. But, dude, is this thing just going to fade all the way to infinity? BMEA, analyst upgrade. BMEA, I really think this one's going to, come back down under the 50-day moving average. Start selling off here soon. It's my initial hunch on it. If it wants to follow the market trend, you know how that goes. As soon as I get into something, it's going to do the opposite. Market makers are like, Kevin's in it. Keep her going. Oh, no. Never mind. Because I didn't get in it. Look at what it's doing. Ah. 770 down to $7. Speaking these things into existence. And that would be one I would probably hold on the short side. Probably even scale into it on a pop to short back into it and fade it beneath that 50-day. I've just seen these so often. They get the pop over the 50-day and they retrace the entire move. I'll throw that one on the watch list for tomorrow. Just all right, Kevon, I'm gonna wrap it up here, man. Thanks for tuning in. It's good to see you. Hope things are going well your way. Happy trading. Stay safe out there. Keep it tight. Single entry, single exits. We will see you guys next time.